I have recently taken a listen to audiobooks to help pass the time during life's more menial tasks. Once I complete listening to one, can I claim that I have read it, or do I tell people I have only listened to every single word over the course of 10 hours? That's from Wondering in Woodstock. Travis, I bet you have an opinion about this.
I do, and it's awful.
The ship is still on its steady course.
Yep. The problem is, yes, you can say that you read it, but you'll have to 100% of the time follow that up by saying, well, I mean, I listened to it. So it's better just not to bring it up.
You're getting the information in your fucking brain. Like, how's it matter how much?
You would be amazed, but you'd be amazed that, like, I've had this argument with people before, because I agree with you, Griffin, but the number of people who say, like, no, the taking in audio information and visual information is too different. Like, it's completely different, and you don't hold it the same way. Now, I will say this. I could see why having somebody read it to you tends to put their inflection on things, and you don't hear it in your own voices in your head, you hear it through them. So I could see where that would affect it a little bit, but you're still getting the story, you're still getting the words, like,
you're still getting fucking smarter. I don't understand why these people have to stand. You're trying to do better, and they're like, but it's different. Well, it's fucking, man, fuck those Beekmans. You don't need that.
I don't think any of these Beekmans are ever going to quiz you on a...
How did the paper feel in your hands then? Describe the textile element.
Well, I mean, how is it different? I mean, it seems to me like the same kind of progression of, like, reading a book or getting it on a Kindle, except, hey, guess what, idiots? I can listen and do other stuff at the same time.
You can listen to that book and read another book. Double books.
Yeah, you know what you can't do? Read a book and drive a car.
Yeah.
I can listen to the book on tape and drive a car at the same time. Who's smart now, Beekman? Me.
Now, let me ask you the slightly more complex question. What if the audio version is abridged?
Oh, well, then it doesn't count.
It does though, because when you read a book, you're automatically abridging it, because everybody knows that when you read a book, you're really only reading every other paragraph.
Tops.
You'll read a sentence and be like, John woke up and looked outside, and you're like, well, he's about to describe some fucking trees for like 200 words, so I'm just gonna go ahead and skip around and look for the word tits.
You know, when I was in elementary school and I had to read books for the accelerated reader program and then take quizzes on it, I would read every other page.
Yeah.
And I aced every single one of those tests.
Sure, because you're a very lucky man.
Well, I got the basic gist of Treasure Island. Now, maybe I was confused as to where some characters came from.
Yeah.
But I knew who the characters were. And it was 5th grade. It's not like they were, like, really in-depth quizzes. It was like, what was the name of the evil pirate? And you're like, Long John Silver. I learned that in the first, like, 10 pages.
What if Travis did that and became the first dude to ever understand Finnegan's Wake? Like, everyone's like, oh, shit, yeah. Every other... okay.
Oh, it was like a codex. Okay.
I got it.
You had to read every other page, and then they connected.
Unless one of the pages you were skipping had the word tits on it. You quickly scan.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's why the Kindle is great, because you can just, like, search for the word tits.
Control F. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't say tits, though. Sometimes they say, like, titties.
Mm-hmm.
James Joyce used them interchangeably. So if you search one, you're really going to be missing out on, like, half the book.
Mm-hmm. That's why it's better just to type tit, and then it'll pull up both.
No, because then you could get, like, title.
Right. Oh, that's true.
And nobody wants to waste time.
Or, like, titular, and then you're like, oh, damn, it's not what I thought it meant.
Or titty, which isn't sexy. It's not sexy if someone says
I forgot about, James Joyce also peppered his works with that.
He coined the term titties.
Actually, the only character in Finnegan's Wake that uses the term titties is Meth Daryl, and everyone knows that you could skip all the Meth Daryl sections and really take just as much away from the novel.
That's why when you search it on your Kindle, you got to do the -sign Meth Daryl, so that way it will edit Meth Daryl out of the book for you.
Completely.
Did you know you can do that with Kindle? Just edit out whole sections of the book.
Yeah, books are the fucking worst.
Yeah.
I get it, books. You had your chance.
If I could
Maybe if you had pictures and you talked. Oh, wait, that's movies. Get the fuck out, books.
Yeah.
I read books for the first, 16 years I was alive, before computers and everything. And I really feel like books have had their chance. At this point, if I'm not reading anymore, isn't that really their fault? Didn't they have a chance to get their claws into me?
let me ask you guys a next level question.
Okay.
Hit me.
Kick it
Okay,
up.
so we agree that when you listen to the book on tape, you can say you read it, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
if you watch a really like accurate movie version of a book?
Sure.
You say you read it.
I think if
There's. I think with a movie you run a real risk of saying the one thing that like lets the person know that you only saw the movie. Like I think that that's a long distance scam.
So, but like with Game of Thrones, where they made like 10 episodes of one book, that's pretty accurate. You know, like I feel like that covers it.
But I think in Game of Thrones is a rare example of where you should be more embarrassed to have read the book. Right? Because you're saying instead of actually seeing some real Juggarugs on TV.
Oh my God.
I'd rather read.
Coined by James Joyce.
I'd rather read a fat bearded man tell me about.
I don't know,
Jugs.
because that fat bearded man can weave a tapestry of adjectives. Describe.
Yeah. Words he creates.
He
to
fucking
discuss titties.
goes centimeter by centimeter, describing every bump, every nook and cranny of the areola. He gets in
George
there.
R. Martin is a man who knows his nipples.
He gets
does.
in, on, and around those titties.
He gets you inside the mind of the titty.
Yeah, you really know what the titty's thinking, and I mean, you can
Please,
feel
Justin.
Yeah,
Titty.
you can feel the lactation. I'm saying sometimes when you read them, you can really feel that kind of thing. If his descriptions of breasts are so exquisite, you would almost swear they were edible, because those are the only other things that get his attention in that fashion.
Well, it activates the same part of well, not everyone's brain, but certainly George R.R. Martin's.
The only thing George R.R. Martin likes is food and breasts and ways to avoid walking. If he can do any of those three, he is stoked. I don't know him personally. He's probably a very sweet man.
Who
I'm
knows
just
a lot
kidding
about
with
boobies.
He does. I mean, he can write a boob. That's all I'm saying. He can write a boob.
I do find it weird when there are entire chapters from the perspective of tits. Like that,
Yeah.
that seems a little excessive. It's like the tits heaved up and down, and they didn't see much until they got out to fuck. And then the kings died. And then it's like, well, I would have.
point in the book where it tangented off to a time when George R.R. Martin saw some boobs.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with like the story he was telling, but it like took over from the narrator.
It was the
like,
summer.
speaking of boobs,
The summer of
Yeah.
'75, in the back of my dad's Chevrolet.
The blood of Reggie Stark splashed onto the boobs, and then they knew that the king had perished.
and there was not a dry boob in the house that day.
Not a dry boob, as all the boobs were covered in tears of the families that had lost men that day.
And House Stark always knew that winter was boobing.
So it was.
So many men were lost that day. So many hearts broken just below the breasts.
You
that
can
they
read
will
more
go
in the final chapter of the Game of Thrones series titled "A Barrel of Jugs."